Okay, so this is going to be another YouTube video for me. This one is going to be a little bit different. So one of my students asked me to review his game, let him know what I thought, what I think, areas where he can improve. So he sent me the game here, as you can see. It's a game between Damn Daniel 339 from Venezuela. This is my student, and this person from Bulgaria. So okay, so in order to analyze this game, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look through. I mean, I can already see that there was 8 blunders and 5 mistakes, so there's clearly a lot of areas to improve. But I'm really looking just to, to give some tips and hopefully, explain why 300s are bad in chess. So let's see what I can do. Okay, so we start with d4, d5, c4 takes. So this is a queen's gambit accepted. e4. Knight f6, and bishop takes c4. Okay, so already I think that this is the first sort of inaccuracy and or mistake. So although it's not really a problem to take this pawn, it's really hard to defend. So I actually think what you should do, Ethan, is you should defend here, bring the knight to defend this pawn, and then recapture this pawn. Because when you take here, he now has the option of capturing here. And even if you play queen f3 hitting the knight and the mate, or the knight and the check, you can just go back. So I already think that this is kind of a problem, but it's definitely the right idea. Okay, so this was just a really bad move on his part. So you played right, you play f3. This defends the pawn he could have captured and attacks the bishop, winning you time. And your knight still has 2 good squares, so it's totally fine. Back, knight c3. So again, you have the right idea, but what you should have done instead is knight c3 first. Okay, so e6, it's a good move. Knight h3. I actually like this move because you can either go to knight f4 and go after this bishop, or you can go back to f2. So you're just developing, that's fine. Knight c6, knight f4, bishop g6. So this move I consider to be slightly inaccurate. Not that it's not a good idea to take the bishop, but the bishop can't move. Right? The bishop moves here, it's free. If it moves here, it's free. If it moves here, you can still take it. So because the bishop is stuck there, you can just take it whenever you want. So you might as well do something else, like, for example, bishop e3. So in this particular case, there's actually a double attack here. So it could be good just to defend e3 like this, okay? And to defend d4 rather, and then once it's defended, if you want, you can get this later, but there's no need to rush on this because it can't move. Okay, so you took, which is fine. He takes, bishop f4. Okay, so this is already a slight inaccuracy. This is already a slight inaccuracy because he can just take, although you'll be able to get that at the end of it, so it's probably not that big of a deal. But maybe not, right? Because maybe takes, 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 takes. He can play knight c2 and win your rook. But yeah, so bishop e3 was much better. Okay, so it looks like, okay, if I delete this, perfect. Okay, so next here you play g3. So I don't like g3. This is a minor inaccuracy. It's not a big deal, but you do weaken these light squares. So I think bishop g3 is better. You attack the rook and you save the bishop. Okay, or actually, considering he's still double attacking, bishop e3 is better just to defend that pawn. Okay, this move I like. I like this move a lot because it defends here and it attacks here. And he plays check and you play king f2, which is totally, totally fine. Maybe king f1 is slightly better, but still. Takes, 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 takes. I think that's good. You just win a piece, right? So this is kind of weird, and this is kind of why 300s just play bad chess. Not you, but your opponent, right? So this was clearly hanging earlier. He could have just taken this, but he waited for you to defend it, and then he took it. So I don't really know why he did that, but that's just a way to lose a knight. Okay, rook d8, rook d1, knight h4, king g2. Okay, this move isn't bad, but I do think bishop e3 is better. You don't want to give him this knight for this bishop. You don't want to double your pawns. And if you go here, which is what you did, he plays check and attacks the rook. So you're still winning, but it was just, okay, that was bad. Ethan, what is this? Just take this piece. What are you doing? Come on, dude. Free piece. Take it. So this is not a big deal. You can just take back and you're still winning. But this move is awful, right? Because now you just let him take this bishop for free. Whoops, excuse me. Now you just let him take that bishop for free. Okay, so what happens next? Let's see. Of course, he moves away, a3, bishop c5. See, now you have a bigger problem because now it's pinned too. Right, that's another reason why this shouldn't be here. It should be on a light square or on f1, because on a dark square, this bishop can cause problems. Oops, this bishop can cause problems. Okay, so at this point, black is winning. You've actually given away your entire advantage. Okay, this makes it even worse because, again, the bishops are 3 and the rooks are 5. So now you've exchanged 5 for 3. So this is very, very bad. Okay, king g2. This is still bad. Let me see. So he can't really save the rook, but you can play check, or you can just take this bishop. Even if you lose the rook, you're still up a piece, or he's up a piece. So knight f4 check. Okay, so again, same thing, just take this piece, right? If it's a free piece for no compensation, you should just take it. Okay, so king f2, knight d3, king g2, okay? Knight f4 again. All right, this is driving me nuts. I don't know why no one's taking the piece, but just take the piece. It's free. Just take it. Okay. King f2, rook takes bishop. Still hanging. Okay, knight d3, king g2, rook h5, g4. Okay, so you're attacking the rook, it's fine, but you got to get your rook out, right? You can't just leave that piece in the corner. Takes, h4, check, up, h5, takes. Okay, so black is totally winning. Black has 2 rooks and a knight, and you only have 1 rook that hasn't moved. Okay, f4, check. Okay, in, right there, here. Now this is interesting. So black is still winning. All he has to do is just take this pawn and then just proceed to use his 3 pieces to murder you. But king there, king up, check, here, check. Oh my god, this is checkmate. This is checkmate. That's hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about this. I don't know what the exact analysis is, but if you look here, let's see, will it tell me? No, I have to upgrade. Okay, it looks like black is just completely crushing. Black can just take this pawn. Black can play check. Black can play this check. It's really hard to lose this, but all you have to do, okay, is just don't let him take this pawn, okay, to your opponent. For Ethan, I mean, that's a nice move, right? Because you were completely losing. This is the only way to win, and he just walked into it. So the first thing is look at this king that's trapped. The second thing is, not only is this a check, it's actually a double check and mate. So this pawn is putting the king in check, and this rook is putting the king in check. Okay? So the important thing to realize is when it's a double check, the only way that you can get out of check is to move your king. You can't capture, right? So if you take this rook, even though you can't, you'd still be in check. And if you take the pawn, you'd still be in check by the rook. So in a double check, you can only move the king, but all 3 squares are covered. So basically, you went from completely losing to literally, I think any move, almost any move wins. Here, yeah, I mean, just take it, right? But still, kudos to you for finding this move and for checkmating your very, very bad Bulgarian opponent. Okay, I don't know anything to make fun of Bulgarian people, but if I did, I'd put that joke there. Okay, so let's do a quick review. I like your opening. Here, you should defend the pawn instead of taking back right away. Okay, f3 is excellent. Knight h3 is very good. There's a slight inaccuracy taking here. Bishop e3 is probably better. Bishop f4 is not great. g3 is inaccurate, not a big deal. Okay, excellent move. Okay, so king f2. This is where the experience comes in. So you see he has a dark squared bishop, which means he can play on dark squares. And he does not have a light squared bishop. So king f1 is probably better just because you can stay off of these dark diagonals, right? Okay. Takes, this was a blunder on his part. Takes, takes, takes. Rook here, rook here. Again, notice how when you're here, there can be some issues here, potentially. Right now you have bishop e3, so it's not a problem, but in general. Okay, this was the biggest mistake of the game. Just take the piece back. Not only do you win the piece back, you're hitting the rook, and you're not getting into this pin. Okay, so this is when you started to collapse, right? You don't take the free piece, and you go into this diagonal. He saves himself. So this is what we call a really bad move, because your opponent wants to play bishop c5 and pin you. So you actually provoked him to play a move he wanted to play anyway. So watch out for that, right? b4 takes. So this is really when, again, when it falls apart. First you lose that bishop, then you lose the knight. But again, there's no reason to take this. If you take this, he takes back, and rooks are stronger than bishops. So you just keep making it worse, okay? Here, again, just take his piece. And even if he takes the bishop, you take this, and you're actually almost tied now because now you have a rook. Okay. See, delete. And, okay, check. So you also have king e3 here, just forking. And if he takes, takes. You're still losing, but at least you get one of the pieces back. Let's see. Delete the moves. So, again, I don't know what it was with the blindness. I don't know if you saw this or didn't see it, but, I mean, clearly just watching this g takes f4 move was the biggest mistake of the game. Okay, so then going. Here, I mean, you're still losing. Anything wins for black. By the way, another thing that black can do in this position is just put his king here or here just to prevent you from walking up, okay? But this, I mean, again, kudos to you. Look at the bar. You are like negative 14.5. Your opponent just makes one error, checkmate and won. And that's what you have to be careful of in chess, right? If you're losing, what Ethan did is right. You look for stupid one-move threats and or extremely complicated things, especially at this elo, and you hope that your opponent loses. And look, he missed it. Oh, now I see why. He only had 14 seconds. Okay, but again, listen, if your opponent has 14 seconds, make little threats and hope they miss them. But again, nice job to you for saving this game. I mean, really great job in the opening, really great job tricking him in the end. The only thing is just make sure you don't give away your pieces for free. All right, anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want me to go over any other of your videos, just let me know. All right, see you later, guys.